Hey guys, it's Kristen. So it is June 20th, 2023, and it is 3:24 p.m. I literally been sitting here for an hour and a half, and I don't know what I've been doing. It's been a rough, I feel like month. When Gemini went into, or when the sun went into Gemini, that went into my 12th house. So now I feel like I can understand a little bit of people who were born with their sun in the 12th house, because it feels like sometimes you like know you have clarity, but you're questioning it, and you know what you're seeing, but sometimes it may not be real. I don't know if that makes sense, but I've had so much go on. And I know the last video that I did, I was actually on vacation, which was what, like 2 weeks ago. And I really wanted to do a video last week. But after everything that had happened in my life and what was going on with me, I needed to take that time to figure out, one, to ground myself, but to make sure I wasn't going to like make any wrong moves or decisions or anything like that, especially with what had happened, because I was going to go off. And I've been crying a lot. I've been angry a lot, but that's a good thing. I'm not just keeping it inside anymore and acting like, oh yeah, everything's good. I try to not stay in that mindset, but it is definitely okay to have those moments, and you're allowed to have those moments to be angry, sad, upset, whatever. But try not to, My problem is and this is what I had figured out during vacation, because it is a lot. There's so much. And I hope I can use this as like a learning lesson. Oh, this is a learning lesson for me, but hopefully I can use it as a learning lesson with this video today. So I know I talked in the last video about, what was it? Like wounds coming up in the family, and me always kind of feeling like being a black sheep, but kind of not fitting in and all of that. And that's kind of how at that time I was, that's how I thought, that's what I thought what was happening, but I didn't really realize the full picture yet until like yesterday, or maybe it was yesterday, but it was pretty much, I kind of knew, but didn't, but it was really yesterday. And I just want to say real quick that I do appreciate the people that did message me and sending me like encouragement. Gosh, my mind, I've got so much going on. So yeah, thank you for just even the people I don't know send me encouragement, because it's been pretty pretty rough, but it's, you know, I'll get into that. So that's what I thought it was whenever I was doing that video on vacation. And I don't like really talking about or putting people under the bus or anything, because that's not what I do. You know what's weird, real quick? This like video, it doesn't do this until I start filming. It's the weirdest thing. And we'll see, now it's not doing it. Oh, now it's doing it again. But I'm just saying, like, whenever I'm not recording, it doesn't do this. But then the moment I press record and it starts doing this. Like, it starts flickering. I don't know. Just so you know, like, it's not anything I'm doing with that. Anyways, off topic. I don't like putting, I've already know this. I don't like saying names unless I like ask them or it's something that's not personal really, because I don't like doing that. But I love my family. I'll always love my family. Family is extremely important to me. It's pretty much like the most important thing. Like I will die for my family. And it's like not just my children, but like I love my family. I've always loved my family. And it doesn't matter how I've been treated, what I've done, and that also doesn't matter either. But the vacation that happened, and this is another thing, is I'm not saying that anybody did anything wrong either with my family. So and even if they did, I'm over it. It's not taking it personally. It's just at that time I was having a really hard time. And it was honestly one of the probably, and this is really like shitty to say, but it was like one of the worst vacations I've ever had. And it's not because of my family. It was a lot of things that was going on in my life. And for a long time, because I knew I never, like, I just don't fit in. My ear is ringing right now. That's loud. I just didn't fit in. I didn't feel like I fit in. I knew I was different. Plus, I'm the only girl out of 3 brothers. And I knew that even just as a child, like when you spawn in, you just know you're different. I don't know how to explain it. I tried to talk to other people about it, like if they've ever felt that way, and they just they didn't feel it. I don't know. So the things that I've been working on with the healing last year and all of that. And even just in the past, when I was with my family, for me to feel like I was fitting in, or really it was like numbing myself out. So, drinking would help. Like I'd have drinks and I have a good time and I would be able to let loose, and it just didn't really bother me as much. And also this was at a time too, where even though I was in pain management, there becomes a point where you realize the medication's also numbing your emotions, and it's numbing, and then you don't really have to deal with it. So mix that in with literally, that's kind of what it was for a long time. And I have been going through this journey of getting off my pain medication. Like I'm not on pain medication since of last April, but I've been on Suboxone, so that helps to get off. And a lot of people, unfortunately, don't even get off of that medication. They take it they don't have to, but can take it for the rest of their life. All I knew is when I made that goal is I was tired of having something that insignificant that could almost control me, almost make me feel like I was controlled. That thing could make me feel like I could either have a bad day or a good day, or if it got taken away, I would be in a bad place, like and not good. And I did not like that. I did not feel, I knew that also I just knew it was killing me. I knew that it was something that I needed to get off of. And that if I didn't do it, that I was either going to end up overdosing or it was just going to kill me anyways. So been on that journey and been on Suboxone, and I was doing very good and started lowering even to the lower films, like they're called Belbuca, and they're a very low, like it's lower than Suboxone. It's less than like a milligram. It's like, I can't even remember, but that was a huge step. And something happened in March of this year where I didn't realize things were getting stagnant. I knew things were getting stagnant in my life, and I just didn't really pay attention to what I was doing, or I had a lot of other Suboxone saved up from like the last few years, pain management, because they gave me way too much, which they knew this, and I had it saved up for years. So I have been, on a bad day or something, or during certain times, if I'm having more pain, I would take a little bit more. And then sometime in March, I just got stagnant and kind of stayed the same, and was taking a certain amount a little bit higher than what I was, than just the films. And my goal has always been to get off. That is still my goal. I'm going to do it. I always said that I'm going to do it. I'm not doing it for anyone. There's no one I'm doing it for but for myself. This is the first thing in my life that I've ever done that I made a decision on, and a goal that was for me, that was going to be for me, this is a huge thing anyways. If people that don't understand how pain medication works and addiction works, it's not like I was addicted. It's not like I was addicted to it to where I was going to jail and stuff like that. It was, my body was addicted to it. And like I said, when you're no longer using it just for pain, you're also using it to numb out and shit like that. And so anyways, I had some Suboxone saved up. I still had about like, I wanted to say year's worth. It was still about a year's worth, because the little amount that extra I'm taking is like a very, 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 very small amount. But still it helps me, because the mild withdrawals, it just makes me exhausted. I'm exhausted. I'm sweaty all the time, which is gross. I don't like that. And it's like either I'm hot and then I'm really cold, and I'm aggravated a little bit more, but not really. It's hard to explain, but I have had those extras saved up for, like I said, years. And I've had them put up in like the very high top shelf in my closet, and it's in like a black bag. So it is, unless you were actually looking for something, you're not going to find it. And plus, like, I have it put up way back there anyways. Because of my children, and because I'm weird about knowing what medication, what it does, and children, like how easy, it doesn't matter what kind of medication it is, Tylenol, ibuprofen, allergy medicine, it doesn't matter. If you give them just a little bit too much, they can overdose and die. And so this is a thing that I am paranoid about, that kind of stuff. And so I am really, 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 like, I make sure medications. Certain medications are not even in reach at all for my kids to get or even know where it's at. So I come home from vacation after all of these, events that happened, and trying to get back into a better place. Last Monday, I went ahead and what is it called? Got my incense, asked Spirit God to take the negative energy out of me, around me, whatever, get it out, but like transmute it back into love, but just get it away from me, get it out, get it away. And I will say the weird thing that happened when I did that, I went to go work out and I came back from the gym, and I'm not shitting you, there was 4 fucking flies in my bathroom where I cleansed. And no, as you can see, my house is not dirty. Like the house stays clean, like clean, like so I took that as a sign, as like, there's some really fucking negative energy, whether it's being sent or not, whatever. And then later on, there ended up being 2 more fucking flies. I'm like, what the fuck? But I think it was last Thursday. So last Thursday, I'm finally getting into a better place. And I'm like looking out in nature. I'm feeling grounded. I'm like, thank you, God. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, universe. Like, thank you for everything that I have. I'm just in a fucking great mood. And then at this point, like I told, I'm like, I am ready and I am open to receiving and like stepping into my new life. I am ready. I am now fully ready to go. And so Spirit's like, oh yeah, you're ready. You're really ready to get, you said you're ready. All right. And mind you, not even 2 minutes after that, talking to Spirit, getting my signs and synchronicities I'm looking for and whatever, I for some reason I'm nauseous during this time. I don't know why. But anyways, doesn't matter. I went to my cabinet and I couldn't find any medicine, and a lot of like medications came out, and I was like, what the fuck? And then I noticed some things that needed to be cleaned out. And normally I'm going to say, like, yes, I clean stuff, but sometimes I get so busy, like I'll put stuff back up and I'm like, I'm not going to do that right now. But for some reason I was like, I just need to clean this out. So I cleaned it out, and then I found like 2 medications that I had extra of that I didn't even need in that cabinet. So it's like, I'm going to put them in that bag that I have of my extra medications. I go into my closet and I go on the top shelf, and the bag's not there. So I'm like, this is weird. Where's my bag? So I'm looking around, and then by my vanity and like kind of in the corner where my shelf or my shoes go, I see the bag and it's on the floor. And there's a bottle next to it. I'm like, immediately, I already kind of like, I already knew, but I was just like, please, let's just not let this be what I think it is. So I get the bag and I look at the bottle, and yes, It was the bottle that I had 2 bottles. And that bottle that was there, one of the bottles that was the Suboxone I had saved up was completely empty. I'm like, okay. So I go look in the bag to see if the other one's in there. I did find the other bottle. And that one was also completely emptied out. And the biggest clue that left me to know that someone went in there, literally looked, and this isn't the first time this has happened either. I just didn't think that someone would steal my Suboxone. Like, the other stuff's been taken before because that was just a fluke time. I forgot to take my medication out of my purse, but still, shit shouldn't be nobody should be stealing from me in my own fucking home. And the biggest clue was that the fucking bag was on the floor. And the whole thing was, yes, I was pissed that my medicine was gone. So all of that extra medication that I had that was going to like help me be comfortable and like do it more on my time was taken away from me. Completely taken away from me. And so, yes, I was pissed. I was really fucking angry. But the one thing that really makes me more mad than that is that my kids could have gone in to my closet whenever I was on vacation, because I don't know when this happened. Whenever I was on vacation, I don't know when, but either way, my kids could have gone in the closet, gone through that bag, and could have just taken some of that medication, and they could have fucking died or overdosed or whatever. So not only did someone steal from me, but they also put my kids' lives in danger, which and I was going to call the police and get a police report that I was going to see my doctor this Monday. I saw on Monday. So I knew either way, it wasn't going to get my stuff back. And unfortunately, with how the opioid epidemic is and how the DEA works and all of that, when you, even if it's not your fault and you report any medication stolen, it can't get prescribed back, but also it still looks bad on you, on the person who got it stolen from, because it's always told you should have put it in a more safer place. You should have had it locked up. And it's like, yes, I understand that. And yes, but I shouldn't have to go buy a safe to go put my medications in to not have it get stolen. Like, so that really messed me up over the weekend. And I was going back and forth on what I wanted to do and what I was going to tell my doctor, because I just didn't know what I was going to do. And I'm just like telling myself, well, I could go back to pain management for a few months to like until I get to be off, or I could go to a clinic if it becomes too much. And I am fighting myself. But either way, I went in Monday, talked to my doctor, and when I tell, it's just crazy because I will say this, before I went to my doctor's appointment, like I'm sitting in my car about to go in, and I am just like, I call out to God, and I call out and I said, I need help. I don't know what to do. I don't want to go back to pain management because I would feel defeated if that was the case. And that was my goal. Like yeah. So I just said, I just need help. And to just show me what I need to do and what's going on. And when I talked to my doctor, I didn't tell him about the other stuff that I had saved up. I just said, I'm struggling, which I am. I've been struggling mentally, and I've been struggling just like, the only thing is I want to be able to make sure I'm doing enough for my children and not struggling 24 hours a day. And then when I told him, I was like, well, I said, I want to know your thoughts on this. I said, I don't know if I need to go back to pain management. I don't know if I need to go to clinic. I don't know what I need to do. And he literally looks at me and he goes, did you really just say that to me? He literally said, did you really just say that to me? And I said, yeah, I don't know what's the problem here. He goes, wasn't this your goal? Like, didn't you want to get off? I said, yeah, I wanted to get off this medicine. He goes, so why are you trying to find a way out of that? And I just sat there for a second and I was like, oh shit. I was like, yeah, oh yeah, you're right. I didn't realize he said, you're trying to talk yourself out of not getting off that medicine. And then that's when it hits me. And he literally turned it back on me, because this is the thing that I told him in the very beginning whenever I said I'm ready to like do the dropping down to get off, like the last step. And I told him, I said, well, I told him that no matter what, like, change is uncomfortable, and that to get to where you want to go, you have to change things, and there's going to be a lot of things that are uncomfortable, especially unknown. It's uncomfortable. I told him this the first, and he literally turned it back around after that, back to me. And he goes, you're uncomfortable, right? I said, yeah, really uncomfortable. And he goes, that's good, because that means you're doing the right thing, and you're going to be uncomfortable, and your mind and your body is trying to get you out of that and to tell you or find a different way to not be uncomfortable. And I'm sitting here and I'm having this conversation with a fucking doctor out of all people. I've always said that it was so hard for me to find a good doctor. And, I didn't really have much faith in the healthcare system. But this doctor here that I have right now is making me see in a way that I had not seen before. And everything that I had been going through in my head and telling myself, it's like God, it's hard to explain this unless you've been in this situation, and it's whatever you believe. But it was like God or spirit of the universe was using him and speaking like directly towards me with everything that I've been talking to them about and praying about and just wanting clarity about every single little thing. He confirmed all of it. All of it. Because I've been having my gifts have been growing and at a very, very fast rate. And it's been making me feel like maybe I'm crazy. And I'm like, oh, maybe I'm just crazy. Maybe I'm just having a little psycho. I mean, I'm a little bit crazy, but you know what I mean? I just like, yeah, there were so many things that I'm like, there's no way I know these things. Like, it's no way that I know these things before they happen, and then they happen, and then these other things are happening, and then it's all connecting, and I'm sitting here like, am I crazy? I'm not crazy. And I know I'm not crazy. It's just I haven't been in this place before. So this is new to me. All of these gifts that I am like growing and trying to like learn how to use. And I'm not crazy. And he's telling me all this stuff. And then randomly he's like, yeah, you're not crazy. I'm like, I never said I was crazy to you. What do you say? But it was just funny. It was just funny whenever he said that. I was like, okay, we're in this conversation now of what I know is true. And so that made me feel a lot better. But something that happened to me that was fucked up, that someone else did, thought, okay, they didn't care what it was going to do with my life or who it affected, ended up being a blessing for me anyways. Because it's like, I know I've been ready for it anyways. It's just, it's time. It's go time now. It's go time now. And I know a lot of people are going through different scenarios in a different way in their life right now, where you're going through, it doesn't matter what it is. It's just something new, something different that you may have not done before. And it does feel uncomfortable. Feels very uncomfortable. And I'm used to, shit happening. But I think this is the first time that I've actually been dealing with life sober. Like, I was having such a hard time with vacation because I thought it was me fitting in, like not fitting in. And I thought it was those wounds that were being brought up. But it wasn't that. I was always trying to do things that were not me, to feel like I fit in, to feel accepted. And so by doing that, I still felt this void. I still felt this emptiness and this not feeling, I guess, just feeling like something was wrong with me. Within my family, I just always felt like something was wrong with me. And there's not. It's just I have a bigger purpose. And I know a little bit of it. I don't know all of it. But the reason I was having such a hard time with vacation this time was that this time I was being myself. This time I was being myself. And I got a lot of pushback. And I had to stand up for myself quite a few times. And there were times that I did want to run away and try to like be by myself. But there was times too that, you know, I do need that. And the times that I did need that, I wasn't, the boundaries were crossed and I wasn't able to get that. And so when I then feel that way and I can't express my emotions in a healthy way, and there's no way, there's no person, no way for me to speak that, the emotions that I'm feeling start get stored. I start putting them inside because I don't have anywhere. I don't have anyone or anywhere I can let it out. And that's when I got sick. And then I ended up getting an infection and then I had to get on antibiotics. And it's a learning thing for me. But I'm not saying my family did anything wrong because I love my family. And the other thing too was I don't mind, you know, especially when they're drinking, having fun. I don't mind being around them when they're drinking and stuff. It just don't make me do it if I don't want to do it. But I tried twice because I was like, I tried, you know, and it was like, I could only get about this much alcohol. And I was just sick. I was like, I can't. And there's nothing wrong with hanging out and having a few drinks and chilling. It's just, this is a point in time of my life where it's pretty vital for me to stay sober and to feel what's going on and to see what's happening, even though I don't want to. Even though for a long time I just didn't want to deal with that. I would, you know, want somebody else to be like, come in and save me sometimes, or like save my situation or fix it. But that never helped either. This is the first time I have been making decisions for myself and like being fucking clear. Like I'm clear-headed for once in my life. And it's been like that since last year. It's just, I'm just now really understanding me and where I'm going, where I'm heading, and all of that. And just because I'm as sober and serious right now doesn't mean that I can't have fun, or I can't have a few drinks and hang out and socialize and have fun either sometime in the future or whatever. It just, at this time in my life, this is what it is for me. That's why they have, with different seasons in everyone's life. And then we have different seasons, different things happen. The life happens in general. And that was another thing I had to learn was, yes, I can be in this spot and I can get myself back grounded and in a good place, but things can still happen. Like, that's life. Things can still get handed at you, like back to back. And it's that I'm learning, because it's now, this is the way I'm going to put it, is almost most of my life I have had some responsibility. Whatever it was a lot of responsibility. And I didn't really have much of a childhood at all. I'm not saying I didn't have a childhood. I'm just saying there was a lot more responsibility when it came to different things. And even throughout my teenage years into my young adulthood years, it was just to get away from where I wanted to get away from, because I knew I wanted to get out of where I was. Instead of sitting there and kind of figuring myself out, I would make rash decisions, or I would not really think too much on it. And so when the opportunity came, and I'm not saying that it's bad that I took that opportunity or good or whatever, because everything that happened was meant to happen. But I realized when I took the opportunity to get out of that, I thought, okay, well, now I'm going to be in a better position and I can figure out what to do, or have less of what I was thinking. I was be able to relax more, get more of a break. But then I quickly realized that, no, just because I got out of that situation into another one, I just had more different responsibilities and different things I had to grow and do. So I had been looking at it wrong my whole life, of wanting it to be easy and I just want to relax. Oh, I just want to do this. And yes, there's times definitely that we need to have like seasons and times of relaxing, and not always feeling like you're on fight and flight and surviving. I think that's what I'm just talking about. I've always felt like I've been just surviving. And after my mom died last year, that was the first time ever that I was able to like have a break, like sort of a break. It really wasn't like it was enough of a break that I've ever had, even though I've had a lot of responsibility, especially taking care of 2 children on my own, and it's just, it was still way more of a break than what I've had in a long, long time. But now I'm in this point in my life where that's over for now. And it's like God and the universe telling me that They gave me my break. They gave me my time to heal and to figure that out. But now they want me to use it. So now they're telling me life is happening again. Life is moving. And that it's up to me on what I learned, if I'm going to use that, or if I'm going to go back. I'm not going back. There's times that there may be, it might feel like you're going backwards. And I know a lot of us might feel like we're going backwards right now, but you can still run backwards. You got it like that, maybe. But it's a crazy time for me, especially. Like I said, I know for a lot of people, but we all have times in our life where that time comes, and don't feel upset or worried that you didn't have it sooner, or it's not happening for you yet. Just know that where you're at now is where you're supposed to be. Even in the times where you don't like where you're at, change doesn't happen overnight. And as long as you're making and taking the steps and you have the right intentions, the only person that can stop you is yourself. That's it. Yes, you may have other people that are causing obstacles and maybe causing a little bit of maybe a little bit longer than what you wanted it to be, or whatever. But you can still get past those things, or people, situations, whatever. It's just really up to you, and it's up to what you really want, and if you want it that bad. And I know I'm gonna have to fucking, I have to do this shit. It's gonna be really uncomfortable. This was my biggest goal and first goal that I wanted to get done, was to get off of the Suboxone, to be fucking free from that shit. So then I could also be a example to some people who think that they can't do it, but you can do anything. And I know that life gets tough, and I know that things happen, and that it's okay to be mad, upset, to cry, to scream, whatever, because you have to let those emotions out at some point, instead of just keeping them inside or not talking about it. I did want to show one thing real quick before I end this video. But another thing too is, people may think that because I may be so just monotone or chill sometimes, that that's what's happening. And I know I've talked about this before, and this is one of the things that I work on constantly is, I have thoughts, and I have so much going on in my head all the time, like 24/7. There are times, and it's even hard to explain, where I have so much shit processing or going through, that the only way I can explain it is, and if a younger kid's watching this, they're not going to fucking understand what I'm talking about. when you're fast forwarding through, I was going to say, when you put a VHS in, you're fast forwarding, you hear that like the tape or whatever, like you hear the talking, but it's really fast or whatever. Somebody doesn't know what a VHS is, that's all. It's also it's weird to think that somebody wouldn't know what a VHS is, but it's fucking reality now. I don't know another way to put this. Like, it's just somebody talking really fast, but it's like that's how it is in my head because it's going, there's too much. But also I can be my own worst enemy of like one thought ends up becoming like, you know, multiple thoughts. Oh, I just have to laugh at myself sometimes. But you know, like a tornado, like you got your cold air and your warm air that come together, and it's just you start brewing a storm up there, you know, and it only takes like one little thought, and then you fester on that long enough, then you bring up more things that build a fucking storm to where yeah. And that's still, I think I'm always going to be learning about that though, you know, the overthinking and the always overthinking and yeah, I'm doing better. I'm gonna talk about that more, but I'm running out of time. So yeah, anyways, no, I wanted to show something. So I don't know if anybody that I know, people that are into astrology. I know anybody that's not really into astrology. You've heard about the Mayan calendar, Mayans, all of that. So I've kind of done a little bit, but not a whole lot, like looking into the Mayan calendar. There's some apps. There's this one app that is really cool. You can put in like your date of birth and it pulls up like the days, like a calendar basically, and tells you for like today, it'll pull up for today. And it'll tell you kind of like what's going on with the world, kind of like collective wise, and like, I guess with you, I don't know. But also you can like pull up your date of birth and it'll tell you a lot about yourself too. And it connects. So I thought it was really interesting because I wanted to show this because I want to do more research on this because I'm really interested. I've done a lot of like just regular astrology, but not the Mayan calendar stuff. So I need to learn like how to do all that too. I only have so much time in the day. But let me figure out how I'm gonna do this sharing thing on this phone here. All right. Did I do it? Yay. Okay. So this is what the app looks like. I wish I had the name of it. I think that's what it's called up here is, and I may say these names wrong, so I don't, sorry, but I don't, yeah. So I have my birthday here. Everybody probably already knows I pulled it up before. And I don't like always making everything about myself, but I just thought this was really interesting. So if you want to look up your date of birth, you can definitely do that too. Okay. So yeah, whenever you have like these days here, it'll tell you and it'll show you like these symbols. And I'm just gonna say, and I'm not like I'm not boasting or anything, but like this here, apparently like that's special, I guess. So this means like water, I guess, and this means and fire. So, or it might be something, this might mean something else, but but yeah, anyways, to have these two together right here is extremely rare. Like it's yeah, anyway, so yeah, let me show you real quick. So let's go into here. So then it tells you a little bit about like what the I don't know what like it all means, but yeah. So it says playful, active, joy, light, happiness, movement, communication. 3 energy is very eloquent in all types of self-expression, the basic movement being a vibration. 3 persons are rhythmic to the core. They are often restless as motion is their nature. By working closely with the energy of 3, any person becomes more able to predict motion of all kinds. The frequency of 3 is filled with light, movement, and activity. It lightens the darker energies that pervade the world today. Tone 3 frequencies can restore the spirit, put life and situations into perspective, and bring balance. People born with the tone 3 energy will tend to ignore the problems of life. A tone 3 day is good day to communicate, express, move, and stir the pot. I do fucking stir the pot, but like in a good way. I don't like stir it to like piss people off. Sometimes I might, but you know. You know, that's fucking funny. Confirmation. Spirit's making fun of me here. Jeez. Like, yeah, bitch. Yeah, you do. You do piss people off. Oh, that's funny. Okay. And okay, so with this, I think it's